Hello, hello. It's good to see you. As an investor, not only do you need to know the 5 W's of your investment, but you need to know what happens after you've invested. And if you're considering passive investing in real estate, you're probably considering investing in a syndication. And one question that comes up a lot is, what should I expect throughout the process of investing in a syndication? If you have this question, then you are in luck, because today we're going to talk about just that. My name is Tommy Brandt. I'm with TB Capital Group, where we invest in commercial real estate assets with a primary focus on apartment. And today we're going to talk about 5 things you should expect when investing in an apartment syndication. Let's jump in. The first thing to expect when investing in an apartment syndication is your investor guide. So upon the successful acquisition and closing of your new real estate asset, you should expect an email notification from your sponsor letting you know that the deal has closed successfully. This email will contain some sort of investor guide. It may be called something else depending on the sponsor, but it should show things like an overview of what to expect. Things like, how often are you going to be receiving a communications cadence? How often are you going to be receiving financial reports? How often are you going to be receiving distributions? Maybe there's some frequently asked questions in there, and maybe there's some understanding of your percent of ownership based off of your contribution. And then also a reminder of who your point of contact is for questions. Moving on to the second thing you should expect when investing in an apartment syndication are progress updates. These are going to be more qualitative than quantitative reports, but these are going to be reports of what's happening at the property, what progress has been made between last month and this month, what are we executing along the business plan, what phase of business plan are we working on? Are we working on exterior improvements or interior renovations? You would expect there to be some high-level metrics of how the property is performing. So things like occupancy rates, the number of renovated units, is the progress that's made in line with the business plan and projections? How is what's budgeted in line with the actual spending of the renovation? And you would expect to get some sort of photos of the property and the progress made on that property. But this is intended to be a quick, high-level view of how the property is performing. Moving on to the third thing when investing in apartment syndications is the financial reporting. This report is for the math-oriented audiences of the investors. This financial report would be a very detailed financial report of the property. Things like rent roll, the P&L for the property, the trailing T12. If you love spreadsheets, then this report is for you. Moving on to the fourth thing you should expect when investing in a syndication. It is a personal favorite of mine, but that is the cash flow distributions to the investors. In the investor guide, it will be outlined when the cash flow distributions are starting, but also the cadence. So is it a monthly or a quarterly distribution? And so these are the cash flow distributions that are made to all of their investors relative to their initial investment within the property. And lastly, the fifth thing you should expect when investing in an apartment syndication is the K-1 tax report. This is a tax document that reports the income, the losses, any tax credits available to the owners and investors. Each investor will receive their own K-1. This is something that's critical to filing taxes in tax season, and it is something that your CPA should have. So just a quick recap on the timeline associated with investing in apartment syndication. The cadence may vary on some documents than others. Other cadences are fixed, but generally speaking, you should receive something when you close, maybe monthly progress reports and quarterly financial reports and annual K-1 tax documents, and the actual distributions will be made at whatever is outlined in the investment summary or PPM. And if you're wondering what the ownership team or the general partnership team is doing, once all investor funds have been submitted and the deal closes, the sponsoring team begins executing the value add business plan and continuously analyzing the market to determine if refinancing or selling is good depending on the circumstances of the market and how far along they are in the business plan and the value of the property. Investing in a syndication, it is a substantial partnership. There's a lot of moving parts that the general partnership is responsible for, but they should be making it easy for the investor as possible while providing excellence in transparency and openness with what's going on in the property, as well as the progress for executing the business plan. To answer the question of how they're using your money, I hope there was something in there that was valuable. If there was, be sure to like and comment on the video. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And if there's someone in your network that you think this would add value to, you have my permission to share this video with them. And if you're like me and you like learning about real estate investing, then check out the other videos on this channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you on the next one.